Hey, thanks so much. I assume everybody can hear me loud and clear. Um, I'm just going to do a short intro. I don't want to, take too much of your time on a Friday, and then hopefully, others can watch this recorded message and kind of get an idea of what we're doing. So we've been in the industry for many, many years, helping small businesses from a couple employees to, 50, 60, 100 employees. And, we have some large accounts but the bread and butter of our business is helping small businesses. And if you had a chance to look at some of the services that we provide, we do it a couple of different ways. And one was through partnerships. And that's what we've done here. I stumbled across SIGNWORLD through someone in Columbia, South Carolina, that purchased a franchise this past year, and their father introduced them to us, and we took them through the process of providing all our services. And in the meantime, found a lot of little errors along the way in underwriting the client to help save them a tremendous amount of money, which we do every single day for clients all across the country. So in doing that, I said, tell me a little bit more. I used to be years ago, I was in the sign industry myself, but probably in the lowest part of the industry. You probably thought I was the worst guy on the block. I was the guy working for the recycle company. So we called on a lot of, large companies in that industry. So I kind of understand it, but I understand that the businesses that you're in and how you're working with clients. Our job is to do some things that help business owners focus on their business, okay? Not have to put it on anybody in the office, and especially themselves, which it kills a lot of time, and allows you to kind of enjoy your business, grow your business, and really put your energy into growing the profit of it. One of the things that we do is, we're the HR, we're the compliance, we're the HRIS online system, we're the payroll, we're the business insurance, we're the workers' comp insurance, we're the 401k, we're the health benefit provider. We're all of these things in one. We're full service. And if you've ever talked to a full service company, I'll give you an example of a couple. All of them have some divisions that run separately, but full service, all in one company, such as a Paychex type company or ADP Total Source, not ADP Payroll, but ADP Total Source, where they're doing everything for a client. That's what we are. That's what we were before Advisor HR, before we sold our company over 5 years ago. We were nationwide, offices all over the country. We sold that division and started Advisor HR, what it is today. And we're bringing our services at 30 to 50% off on partnerships like you have today with SIGNWORLD. So you're able to have first, white glove service, incredible services on all of those categories in one place. And you're able to do it because of the membership you have, your partnership, the business that you have, and now we have with SIGNWORLD, which is really exciting. So one of the things that we've done for different industries, like the furniture industry, which is huge. If you've ever been to High Point, North Carolina, it's, they have their annual Super Bowl meetings where people from all around the world come to. We have provided that industry, that association, those partners in that business, their own specific programs. Also for automobile associations and people that have bought automobile collision centers, okay? And we've done it with professional groups, and now we've got SIGNWORLD. So one of the things we're doing beyond, and Dan and I talked about this over the last several days, is not only providing our normal services at the rates that we're going to do with SIGNWORLD, is provide some potential benefit programs that the small businesses just can't take advantage of typically, because you just have participation problems or what have you. But because you're a client of Advisor HR, okay, through the relationship with SignWorld, because we provide the services we do with HR, compliance, payroll, business insurances, and all of that, those type of things. You have access to all the benefits that a lot of small businesses just don't have or can't have. But what we do is we'll create a master program for everybody in SignWorld, okay? And then this program will be through, for example, Blue Cross Blue Shield, okay? So we will do in the next couple of weeks in January, first quarter, our whole goal is to get all the information we can from SignWorld owners that would like to potentially participate. Not that you have to, but this is just a benefit. And by doing so, we've been able to help a lot of small businesses in this case. I think there's anywhere from a couple of employees to 6 or 7 employees per shop, could be, much more, much less, but it doesn't really matter. I know that there's somewhere between 360 owners out there and another however many employees. And I know one thing that owners have that struggle with is the benefit side for themselves and their family, unless their spouse is working for a corporation or for the hospital, nurse, or school system or something like that. So what we are able to do is we're going to send out through SignWorld, a basic census that's going to put everybody into one large group. I'll give you an example. We've got hundreds, over 700 people in one association in a very similar program. We were able to drive those rates down. And by the way, there's no profit in the health insurance business with us. It's just part of our services that we're going to provide because we'd like to have the other business with you, such as the HR compliance and the payroll. So that's just the added services that we do. So it's, to help keep those rates down, we keep our hand out of those buckets of from the benefit side, which is nice. So if we put a 401k in for you and you guys want it in your company and you want to have that for you and your wife or your families or your employees, we put that in for you. There's no cost to the employer to do that. There's no matching. There's just all type of things. So we've got all these different fields. And if I can, I wasn't really going to get into PowerPoints and presentations and everything, but from this call, if anybody would like to go through one of our presentations, of, the full services, kind of see how all that works. It's just a simple slide presentation. And then, and then we're going to give SignWorld some information that they can send out as well. So, the idea here is the more you consolidate, okay, your services with a company like ours, the more you can eliminate fees, broker fees, tax, just all type of things. So that's what we do. I'll give you an example. I've got 4 companies sitting here. We're getting ready to close the end of the year. I've got 4 companies here. Okay. One of them, and this was the case with the SignWorld company. The SignWorld company in South Carolina was acquired. It was already in existence and somebody bought it. When they did, the company was paying workers' compensation. How many of you pay workers' compensation? Just give me a thumbs up. That's right. Well, somebody came into your office and sold you the work comp, okay? And, they're making a commission off of it. There's terrorism fees, there's class codes, there's everything. So for us, when we take a client, we're going to look at all the aspects of the client. I'll give you an example. We're going to look at that workers' comp. This company had acquired this guy had acquired SignWorld and just took everything that came with it. When we did the underwriting for it, we noticed that the class codes were wrong. Okay. The installers were not covered. It was more, they were charging them more as a printing center, like a copy machine place. And somebody was just trying to get their 12% commission and move on. We were able to put them in the right class codes with the right payroll per class code and help them eliminate a lot of costs, but more importantly, get them covered. So if their installer is out on the road, they can be. So we're working through companies through processes like that. a 6-man group over in the eastern side of the states here, not affiliated with SIGNWORLD, was just being charged $19,000 for work comp. And like you, they go to work every day, they pay their bills, they do those type of things, and nobody on their staff is a professional at any of these things, you know, so they just take what's given to them. They might quote it out from time to time. And if you do, and you take it from one agent to another agent, they can look in the back office systems and see what that agent is charging you. I didn't know if you knew that. So if they're making a $6,000 commission on you, guess what? They're going to make a $5,000 commission on you and save you $1,000. So these are where we will get into depths with our business owners and help them in all these different areas. So we're able to when we're underwriting a client, to help them in every single area of their business and provide them all the fluffy stuff for their employees to create retention, such as the benefit programs and everything else. So we would really like to help the SIGNWORLD business owners and provide the level of protection. When we talk about HR, for example, you'll have an HRIS online system you can log into. Everything is cataloged, every move in your company. Any report you want to run from payroll to benefits, it's all in one location. It's, you know, Quicken is great for this, but you know, who's looking out after all the employee administration pieces beyond that? So we have it all built into one. It's an incredible product, and your employees have access to it as well, where they can log in and they can see their W-2s and print out their own information and everything else. And then we provide all the apps. We provide all of it for one small flat fee that, again, is 30 to 50% less than what the national average is with companies like ADP or Paychex. So it's just been our kind of our bread and butter, is to more or less help the smaller businesses be able to afford this, because it saves them a tremendous amount of time, energy, and money. And one of the areas that saves money is time and attendance. You know, you have a small business, people all the time can take advantage of your time and your money. And, you know, where are people if you have them out and about? Well, we have all the apps, we've got all the time and attendance, we have all the trackers, geofencing, all of that built in to what we do. And it's all synced together to eliminate any paperwork, any type of things like of that nature. So, you know, from an HR standpoint, every client. So if Denise, if you had a issue you were dealing with internally, we're going to put together a handbook for you, of course. Okay. We're going to update what you have. If you have an employee situation that causes, hey, we need to rethink how we're doing this, we're going to update that policy. We're going to get employee acknowledgement. We're going to have sign off on it. We're going to do everything to cover your business and you personally as that business owner. We're going to have EPLI insurance in there for you if there's any type of discrimination charge in the past, or any type of, you know, any type of employee coming back at you. So we are just an incredible layer of protection for the owners when you come our way. We're not the payroll company down the street. Okay. We are all inclusive. The HR piece, our HR people are attorneys on staff here in our offices. And that's pretty much what they do all day long, is work with the clients through a lot of situations that they're going through, as well as in the infancy stage of you being a client. They're putting together the benefit booklets. They're putting together all type of things like that. Let me give you a little bit of an idea of, you know, what that may look like. I will share that with you. Is it okay if I share my screen here? Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so that's one of the presentations with, you know, delivering all the key elements to your business that you would see on a typical presentation. The time and attendance, the apps, the scheduling, the, you know, whatever you have, the HR piece from employee file audits to performance reviews, compensation benefit planning, and then all the benefits and the online portal you have and how it works. And the biggest thing about this is super affordable. Okay. So can everybody see this one pager here? Thumbs up.
The triangle.
Everybody see that one pager? All right, let me switch over that page to one of our programs we did called the Professionals. Okay, now this is just the benefit side of it. So imagine this is on this cover, okay, it may look like this cover, okay? This is a
I
very
think,
bold,
I think you're on the wrong monitor.
Yeah,
We just see a slideshow or advisory
Okay.
HR PowerPoint.
let me see. All right, let me switch it to that one. Okay. You see that?
still nothing's changed, no. Delivering employee administration of the workforce with the triangle is the only page.
No,
you see.
that's not what I'm showing.
I think
Yeah.
what you have to do is you have to unshare
Yeah.
and then reshare and then pick the screen that you want because
Okay.
it's not user friendly.
You got that right. You see it now, Frank?
I see press escape or double click. Let's see what.
You see Pride Care? Anybody?
No,
Nope,
just see
I
the
have a
black
blank screen.
Really? Because it's showing that it's being shown here. And I did. I stopped sharing. I
Yeah,
went out here. Let me share that again.
still the black screen.
Matthews has started share screening. Wait a minute or two. It should. It
All it says is that you've started sharing,
but the
Yeah, it's
communication
gonna take a
time-
while to refresh.
Exactly.
Wow. I know my internet here is on lightning speed, so that,
Well, you're also supporting a lot of people here.
yeah.
You're only as good as the slowest one.
Okay. So what I'm showing you that you're not seeing is our benefit booklet packages. So imagine your handbook, okay? Well, you get a benefit book too that we put together. So we put your logo on it, we put your information in it, and then all the benefits that they want to take advantage of. Whether they want to use all of it or not, they get it. It's part of your business now, okay? We can do it generically, or we can put your company name on. The one I was showing you was a new ambulance company up in Pennsylvania. We're doing about 70 employees, a little bit larger, obviously, but just because you got a 5-man group or, 2 employees or 10 or 15 employees, we give you the same thing that we give everybody else. So we have different programs that we use. Let me just shut it down, I guess. I mean, no sense in sharing. All right, can you see me? Okay, so,
We can see you.
all right, so,
You can see your other
Um,
screen, just not the other monitor.
yeah, okay. Well, I will tell you that I don't have any printed out to share. Hold on one second. This will be the old school way of doing things. So one of the things that we do once we're talking to you and your company is we gather some data from you. For example, we'll gather that work comp. If you're using health insurance already and you want us to do a comparable quote, we will. Whatever you're doing, if you're using a CPA, you want to include their cost of their payroll, their accounting person that they're doing with you, because we're going to eliminate a lot of those costs for you. And by the way, we get a lot of business from CPAs across the Southeast and across the country as well. So they refer us business because we have 0 salespeople here. Okay, we're 100% driven off of partnerships like this. But we put together an entire financial analysis of your business. And from that, you're going to be able to see what you're currently paying and what you would be doing that with us. And any of those lines. So let's say your brother-in-law is the work comp agent or the business insurance agent or the healthcare agent. You go, well, they're going to, I'm not giving them, I don't care if I'm paying more or not. It's fine. If you're with a national agency that I've talked about before already, they're not going to allow that. With us, we can a la carte it up to your liking. Okay. And that's how we're working with small businesses to make sure that they get what they want, they get it how they want, and they get it at a price they can afford. Instead of hiring somebody or taking on another task for yourself, you need somebody there that can look after you, that knows, how to do some of these things and negotiate contracts with, make sure you're classified correctly, just all the little things that happen in business. The administration of employees is, if you have 10 or less employees, it takes about 8 to 12% of your time. And if you take that, and the national calculator for employee administration cost is multiply that times your payroll. And then you get to see how much you're actually taking out of your pocket to do those tasks. And you won't be able to hire anybody, that can do what we do to work for you internally. It won't be cost prohibitive. So we're able to do it all for you as an outside service. And there's no service tickets here. If you call, you're going to talk to somebody. You're not going to go through a voicemail chain. You're not going to leave messages. You're going to have client service people, all of those type of things. So you're going to get that same feeling of why you like your business, why you like working with Advisor HR, because you know Kim, Amanda, Laura, Amanda, Ava, your people that are helping you in your business. And then let's say you want to give yourself or an employee a bonus here at Christmas, so it's $200 or $200,000. We have a company that's giving away $900,000 in bonuses. Crazy. We have one company giving away $20, $50. We go in there, we do it all. There's no extra fees. There's no service tickets. There's nothing like that. So it's really a great experience. And, we really are looking forward to working with SIGNWORLD and helping kind of structure all the business services. They're already there to just plug and play now. The only thing that we need to work on together is this large group healthcare plan. Now, if you don't take it, it's fine. We've got other plans that you can take advantage of, such as, limited medical plans, accident plans. I mean, there's 50 different plans out there that you can take advantage of, that you can make available for your employees that will cost you $0 to implement. And you get a nice booklet, and it looks and feels great as an employee working there. The 401k, for example, whether somebody ever invests in or not, they know you have a 401k. They know that you're thinking about, their interests. So from that standpoint, we can make a lot of difference for your employees and help build retention. But, the reality is we're there to help the employers, manage that business month to month, week to week, and do something that will help benefit them and grow their profits in their company. And, we just helped Grease Monkey, automobile Grease Monkey owner go from 1 to 7 stores because they just couldn't manage all the people. Okay. And as far as, all the things that needed to be done. So any questions? I'll just stop right there. And then if you want to book with us, you can get in touch with us through SIGNWORLD, and we'll just set up a presentation that's personalized to you, ask your questions, and kind of start doing some legwork for you to see where there may be some real good benefits here for you. Yes, sir.
You're in the East, right? You're in Tennessee, Georgia. Where?
We are in North Carolina.
North Carolina.
In a town called Huntersville, North Carolina, just north of Charlotte, about 15 minutes from the football stadium.
So I'm in California, the communist state of the Union, and I'm wondering, how do you keep up on laws that would be relevant to me? Because I think I'm in a more restrictive environment than North Carolina. At least I hope for your sake I am.
Right. Well, when it
How
comes
would you do
to,
that?
you're talking about from an HR standpoint?
Well, yeah, HR and legal standpoint, which there's certain, I'm no expert, and that's the reason I could use the help. But there are certain employee rules about how you account for paid time off. It's mandatory. There's certain types of leave. There are certain requirements on breaks and lunch. And, California, you could reel off 100 of these things. And
Right.
they're oppressive, and they're detailed, and they're very much local to California. So how do you cope with that? How do
Well,
I cope with it too? But
right. So instead of you spending your time as the owner trying to figure out and read threads and Google and everything else, you have someone on our team that's their livelihood. And, they may not be an attorney in California, but they're able to decipher the information and give the proper guidance, okay, for you. Because they're going to do all the research. They're going to look at all the information. They're going to, they're going to help protect you on, if we have a problem employee or whatever it may be. Okay, like right now you got an issue where employees are going, hey, I want my pay for COVID because I was out 10 days.
Yeah.
So just dealing
I
with
paid
those.
them.
Yeah, right. Just dealing with those issues. Well, there's a lot of people out there that don't want to pay those people, that need to be told they need to pay those people. So,
Well, I could go on, and if you want, I mean, if you need questions to fill the space, I got them. But I think I step aside and let other people
okay.
have their questions first.
Anybody else?
Yeah. So do you guys, what's your billing model based on? Is it the number of employees? Is there a flat fee? How does that work?
So it's typically, it's a per employee billing. So if, and so is all the other, like, outside of our fee is like your workers' comp, for example. Ours is always going to be based on who's working that month. Okay. So if you've got people coming and going, it's moving. It's not a flat fee, like a fee based on your payroll or anything like that. It's just a per person fee that we put together, and it's, really economical.
And does that include part-time employees, or how are
It
part-time?
does. So if they're not working, you're not paying for them to be in our system, So if you got seasonal people, if business picks up in the summer or fall or whatever, and you need to bring on a couple more people, it's an easy onboarding process, and then they leave, and that it's easy.
Yeah, but less so about that than I've got a couple people that work, 10, 15 hours a week.
Yeah. Yeah. So their rate's different with us
Okay.
because of that. So anybody else? Is anybody here interested? I know it's a small group and there's a ton of businesses, but is anybody interested in the large group medical plan concept?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And that's how we, there's always a hook to get a client, right? I mean, same thing with you. This fourth quarter has been amazing with the workers' comp stuff that's going on. I've just never seen so much bad policies. But the associations, it's typically the health benefits that can be the driving factor. Frank, you're in California. We got a ton of furniture people out in California, and they were paying $2,700 a month in health insurance for family. It's different wherever you are around the country. But
It's easy to do.
yeah. And, we were able to, cut that bill majorly. So that's something that when we put out, if you can tell your colleagues, if you know people from your industry, or I see you're very active on your threads. Okay. You may want to put some information out there on your threads, talking to your community about, hey, this could be really good for us. And it's going to be good for you because, when you join, nobody's going to give you a medical examination. Okay. Nobody's going to go, well, we need 50% participation. Nobody's going to say, oh, well, if you, don't use this policy, because if you do, then our rate's going to go up. Again, the more people we add to it, you're going to look like and feel like SIGNWORLD's going to look and feel like a large corporation with a lot of employees in one large group plan. So it's a multi-employer plan. And the same thing with our work comp as well, and some of our other programs. So it's a lot of employees participating. Go ahead.
That large group health plan, that is something that sounds like that's a few months away before we could execute that.
Yeah, so we have some in that we have now, but I think with what Dan told me with your age groups, that we'll do a census and we'll do one specifically for you. And, that would be that's kind of the better way to go. And then that way we can make it a nationwide Blue Cross Blue Shield plan, for example. And, when somebody buys a franchise and they want it, they got it. And then if somebody that's already been around, they want it, they just come on board on it and go from there. But it's it's the same Blue Cross Blue Shield that's in your backyard. Okay, we'll put together the platform here, the rates, all the things. And then you go, well, what doctors are involved? Just go to their regular website and you can see what Blue Cross Blue Shield doctors are in your area and everything else. Even though it's going to be a North Carolina written contract, it'll be nationwide, but it'll domicile here. Okay. So Anybody else have a question?
Matt, when it's appropriate, I'd like to do a 60-second real quick summary for you, for us, for them.
You want to do it?
I'd like to do it, yeah, unless they
for
have more questions, that's all.
Paul works with me, and we work together, and he is how I found SIGNWORLD. So go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, let me just do a little, Matt went over a lot of stuff. What I'm gonna do is tell you basically in 60 seconds how I like to explain it a little bit, is that we are an employee administration company. So once you have employees, Mr. Business Guy, you got to do a bunch of stuff for those employees. We do all that stuff. And there's three categories, there's three silos. If you know, for lack of a better term, you have the payroll silo, you have the HR silo, and you have the benefit silo. And so we do everything in the payroll, and we charge for payroll on a per employee, per pay period basis, and all the functions that go with it. And you only pay for that pay period. You don't pay for filing of the taxes. There's no other add-on cost, but that's the only thing you pay for. And the second category is HR. HR, all the functions from posters that you get for free, manual that you will do for free. Everybody else charges a lot of money. We do trainings for free, whether it's sexual harassment trainings where you have to hire somebody like an attorney or consultant. It costs $3,000, $5,000. We do that for free. We handle any questions. There's no fees for this type of stuff. You get a relationship with somebody at Advisor HR, whether Trish or Eva or whatever, and that's your person. They get to know your business. So all those things that go with audits, all those things are free. So we're not nickel diming you for these little things. And then there's the benefit column, benefit silo. Again, we don't make any money on these things. We bring that to you as part of a group, and it's free and a la carte. So if you're not ready today to offer 401k, but you want it next year, you can offer it then. Or if you're not ready for health insurance today, you want to offer it in 2, 3 months or 6 months, you can do it. So it's not tied to, you have to do it all at one time or nothing. You can really be that flexible to do those things. So it's really, that's kind of the summary of the silos. It's the summary of how we operate, and we really help small businesses because we work on two things. We work for the owner, that's number one, and we work on two things: cost and cash flow. That's what we worry about for small business. So cost would be, well, everything's free. That's cost. We save cost on the HR stuff, and on the workers' comp is a cash flow issue. Typically, businesses pay. January 15th, you got to come up with 20 grand, 10 grand, 13 grand, whatever for workers' comp. And it could be the worst time for, cash flow at that time. So what happens that, but you got to pay it. It's, you don't have you don't have part of a group. So what we do is pay as you go. So that's a cash flow solution. If you have 22 employees on one month of January and you have 20 in February, you only pay for 20 in February. You're not paying the whole thing. You're not reconciling anything at the end of the year. They're not charging you more because you missed out. Your payroll wasn't properly calculated. So you got none of that stuff. So that's kind of is there anything I forgot, Matt, at all that maybe as a summary?
It's hard to summarize in 60 seconds. It's a lot of services.
It is a lot of services, right? So,
yeah.
But that's kind of it in a nutshell. It's, this is what we do. We want to make you the employer of choice. So if you offer these things, a lot of times what prevents you from offering, or a small businessman from offering things, is it cost him, like the 401k or like the health insurance. It doesn't cost you anything. We work for the owner of the business. So, any questions? Other than that, that's my 60-second.
Well, I have one, suggestion in that SIGNWORLD has a employee manual. It's a really thin manual, and it's kind of like a cartoon. It doesn't really have any realism to it, but it's there. I think that if you wanted an introduction into SIGNWORLD, I think that there's a market for a comprehensive, well-written, legally valid manual that you could probably sell for $100 or something to 360 SIGNWORLD companies. None of them have a good manual that I know of. I don't. And my manual's heavily modified, and it's still woefully inadequate.
Right. Well, with the clients that we bring on, we'll be doing their own custom ones, obviously. And I'm sure working with Dan, and the more we get to know each other, they'll probably be asking for a few things for their group, which, we will be providing for them. So if they want to put it out there on the open marketplace for people to take as their template, it's fine with us.
Yeah.
You know, if we're helping one company or 200 when it comes to little stuff like that, to us, that's little. It's a big deal, but you know, we just want it to be a great relationship. There's so much opportunity here for us, obviously. But you know, the reality is, you know, if we can't help a small business person, then we're not going to be in existence, and we're definitely in existence. So we're happy with what we do. Anybody else have any questions? Yes, Denise.
Just real quick, I'm also in California, so HR is obviously a huge issue.
Right.
Like Frank said, the laws change frequently and they're always different than every other state. So my biggest need is on the HR side. Now, as Paul said, you guys have 3 silos, so to speak: payroll, HR, and benefits. You have to do all 3 with you, or can you pick and choose? Like if my main need is HR, can I just do the HR?
No. So the a la carte piece is all the benefits, the business insurances, you know, 401ks, all that kind of stuff. The one thing that the package that you do, because it's the only place where we make money, okay, is for us is the payroll piece. And the payroll HR are one unit, because it's kind of hard, you know, to separate the two. You know, all these other companies have a division that just sells payroll. Well, their goal is to sell it and then get you to do all the other stuff later. So we just don't do that. We just, again, our whole model of getting a client, we have 0 salespeople. It's through relationships, through SIGNWORLD or the furniture industry or CPAs or banking institutions, really. And then they already have clients. So then they know what their clients really need. And in today's world, if you're not set up HR and compliance supportive, you're headed down the wrong path, you know. So anyway, hope that answers your questions. Go ahead, David.
So, you know, ballpark, I'm sure there's different levels, but what's a range on your per employee basis for the payroll and HR service?
So it's going to depend on if you're doing weekly. Does everybody do weekly payroll?
Bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly? Better.
I pay twice a month, on the 15th
Yeah.
and the 1st. So there's always 2 pay periods for every month for accounting.
Yeah, so semi-monthly. In my personal opinion, semi-monthly is the best way to do it for your books and everything else. And you don't have those larger 2 months of payroll. Okay. But it's going to be different. There is a rack rate. Okay. I will tell you. So the rack rate on that is going to be about, for semi-monthly, $588 per employee per person annually. And that's all inclusive. That includes your HR. That includes access to the benefits. That includes the administration of those benefits. That includes the administration of the workers' comp. It includes everything that we've discussed on this phone. Okay. So if you've got 10 employees, it's going to cost you about semi-monthly, about $5,800. So what happens a lot of times is, what if we go in there and we help a company and they're paying $4,000 more in work comp than they're supposed to. Well, now bringing us on saved them money, and now it's kind of a wash of our cost involved. So that's where we like to get all the information and do the underwriting, because, you know, unless you're using an outside source, then you've got nothing to compare it to other than going, well, for 50 some $100, or $10,000, whatever it may be, how many employees you have, you know, you're never going to be able to say, well, I can bring in a new employee to handle all this for me for that. You know, an HR person is going to cost you about 60 grand a year. So an admin person is going to cost you 20 to 40,000. And then a lot of times in the smaller businesses, the spouse is helping, you know, and they're doing a portion of something. And, you know, but, you know, they need some real more legal help, more compliance work. So that's how it works. So there's a bi-weekly, a semi-monthly, and a weekly rack rate. So it goes from about $700 to $650 to $588 per head. Okay. So it's easy math. and it's billed throughout the payroll. So if you're doing semi-monthly, like Frank is, that 588 is being broken down into 24 pay periods. Biweekly, that 650 is being broken down into 26 payrolls. And then the 700, because we're touching it so much, is being broken down into 52 payrolls. So it's like, you know, a small little piece of cash flow each payroll. So it's never a big fee and that type of thing. So if you lose an employee, you lose, you know, annually $580 of employee cost. Okay. So, and you can, and now you know what to build as a company owner, you know what to build into your budget of hiring a person. Okay. And also with some of these benefits, I would think one of the things that we're really good at is helping you retain employees. So sometimes a dollar raise isn't a great thing for an employee, you know, or $2 or whatever, but maybe that same annualized number is broken down and saying, hey, you know, we're going to give you $100 a month to apply to these to all our benefits. Now, $100 a month, they may be able to pick up vision, you know, telehealth. They may be able to pick up some term insurance. Like, for example, we have a $50,000 term insurance plan or insurance plan with no medical check. So if you're 50 years old, you've had heart surgery, and you can't get insurance anymore, and your 20-year term run up, you're going to have guaranteed 50,000 for about $8 to $12 a month. Okay, so that $100 could pick that up. Where if you went to the open market and you're that same person, that's going to cost you about $130 a month for $10,000 in coverage with Gerber, you know, the baby food company. So, you know, so there's going to be a ton of advantages. So we work with a lot of firms and helping them on that type of compensation planning. You know, well, how do we, our people like working here? You know, I don't think we can afford to keep raising, but give them other reasons to stick around there, because a lot of people will stick around because of the benefits. You know, it's part of their benefit package. Anybody else have any questions? Yes, sir.
To answer your question, you have to do payroll. The other stuff you don't have to do.
I said you have to do the payroll and the HR.
Yeah, payroll.
Everything
and HR,
else is kind of optional.
Right.
You know, if you like your time and attendance now, great. If you want to go paperless and sync it all together, you want to have apps, people sign in, all that, sit at their desk, sign in. We're going to put all that in place. Whether you use it or not, it's up to you. I would use it. It just syncs it all together. Makes life a lot easier and reporting easier too. Tony, you got a question?
Yeah, I'm hoping to get my hands on all my HR kind of stuff over the holiday. It'd be good if we touch base after the first of the year, if you or somebody could reach out to me.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to give a way for everybody to get in touch with us, Tony, and it will be the you know, the first of the year. We can't. We're done taking business for 2020 to get everybody locked in. So we'll get that taken care of. All right, Miss Ewing. All right. Anybody else? How many of you communicate with people within the partnership, SIGNWORLD partnership, through threads and everything else? So that was what really drove me to go, okay, because this is a lot of work on our end to put together this plan and do all this. And I've done it for a couple different groups that didn't have that level of you know, communication, and you know, everybody was kind of like, it's like herding a bunch of cats. You know, you're not going to do it. But that's one thing that I was very impressed with the group, with SIGNWORLD and what they're doing, and the level of engagement that the people had with each other. And I think because of that, you can help each other create something really unique here with our benefit program and our services. Okay. All right. Well, if nobody else has any more questions, I can, I'll type out my number here too as well. This is my direct line. So if you had something in particular you wanted to discuss, let me know. I just put it on the message board.
Yeah, I'd sent you an email when you get around to it, but next year's fine.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, we can, if you go to, you see our information, I'll get everything SIGNWORLD needs for you guys to start, getting in touch with us and kind of setting up some personal time, okay?
Sure.
All right. All right, thank you.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Matt.
Have a great holiday.
You too. You
Merry
too.
Christmas, guys.